in the link, or you can do them in a soldered connection. So you can solder all your cables together. I'd suggest you don't, because then we've got to test your soldering. So there'll be a solder gas bottle and solder and all that gear there. Don't panic, just ignore it. Some people go, oh, what's the solder for? It's there if you want to use it instead of using links. Does anyone want to use soldering connection instead of a link? Didn't think so, so just ignore all that shit there. But look at all the other stuff, there'll be lugs there, that might give you a clue what size cable you're going to use. There'll be labels there, don't forget to put the label on. These are all labelled, we've got some of this got earthly, neutrally. Ignore all the labels. We know that the one you've got all your cables to will be your earthly, and the other one will be your neutrally, which will have the M going to it. So you're going to pick 4 cables. One to earth the switchboard, there's a nut, what's it called, screw bolt in the middle there for you to earth the switchboard, and everything else will go into the link or the electrode or the water pipe. So you pick the sizes, you go, my end link's going to be so whatever size, it's going to go from neutral to the earth. My earth to the switchboard is going to be whatever size you choose, take a 5.1, or if it's unprotected consumer mains, the size of the main neutral. Plug it up, bolt it on there. Main earth, take the 5.1, no matter what, whether it's unprotected or not, it's always take the 5.1 from the main earth to the electrode, and you could attach a bond 4mm to the water pipe. That's your earthing system done. Make sure they go down the wall, don't just leave them all hanging out here, you've got to do it like a proper job. So you need all your screws done up nice and tight, the connections nice and tight, the cable has to go down the wall because it has to take the shortest route coming to your electrode. You see how they sometimes come out and do little springy curly things to make it look nice and neat? You're not allowed to do that. People used to say to do it so that if someone hooked on and pulled it, it wouldn't come disconnected or something, but now with whip snippers and things, they get all tangled up in it. You can also, if there's a fault and someone's got a screwdriver in that coil, can induce a dangerous voltage in your screwdriver. That's the one who's holding. I found it hard not to laugh, but anyway. So it should just take the shortest, straightest route from the closest point you can. So don't come out this hole here and have it hanging out. Come out the hole right next to where it's hooked up to the electrode. Same thing you could potentially bond. There's a hole there. You guys can probably see it. When I'm from my angle, it's not there. The students come down the bottom here now and they go, it's going to come out the hole, and they go, I didn't see it, or bad luck. Either fix it or fail, I don't know. So, nice and neat, inside border, you can't see it, the short runs out onto these clamps, and then once you've done that, we'll tick the box to say you installed it all correctly, and say test the main earth. So you will go, disconnect the main earth, test from that point to the earth electrode, less than half an hour, tick compliant, happy days. If you want to have a practice at that, you can, but I don't think you'll need to, basically just doing up screws. With those clamp things, if you haven't used them, you don't have to twist the cables up to them. Same with the 16mm, or if you haven't used 16mm. You don't have to twist them up because you get a good connection anyway, but smaller cables, make sure they're all twisted, the cables are twisted up so the screws don't spread the strands apart and all that sort of thing. But those clamps, the fingery things, when you put the cable in there, they clamp on it, so they don't have to be twisted. They can be, but they actually get a better connection if you don't twist them because they squash them right down nice and flat. So if you haven't used them before, maybe get a bit of cable and have a go at using the clamp, because on the day you don't want to be experimenting on the day. Today's a good day to experiment and make mistakes. Next week's not. Any questions?